What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers, and today I have some very, very good news. Well, actually, I have a mix of news. I have a little bit of bad news, some good news, some great news, some very great news, and I'm pretty sure some epic news. So, let's start with the bad. The bad is I don't know 100% yet whether or not we will be making it to space today or not. That was the original idea, but we'll have to wait and see. The good news is that, well, I've modified. You notice the original turtle miner here is gone behind me. I've modified it to be our ice miner. I'll talk about that in a minute. The great news is that, what was the great news again? I don't remember. Maybe I misspoke on. Maybe I missed one of them. Let's just go with this one. The shooting star is finished. That is correct. I have been working on it off camera this whole week, and she's done. Now, the only thing is I may end up adding the solar panels, like we had talked about. I'm still a little mixed on that. I keep thinking I might have to, just so that there's some source of renewable power for it, even if it's a little bit. Since this doesn't use a whole lot of power, I'm almost wondering if I did, like, 4, grab the corner on each end and do like 2 that way. I think that'll be enough, so we're probably going to do that today. In fact, let me get started on that. Okay, sorry for that weird transition thing. I had a pop-up on my desktop and I wasn't sure if it got in the recording or not. It didn't seem to, so I think we're fine. So, where did I put my windmill things? Oh, I never get the right block that has the all the variants in it. That's annoying. Let's grab... I think we're gonna go with this color. Okay, so we could do it that way, and we'll have to flip the... Can I do that? I don't know if I can pull that off or not. I can do this way, but I would have to do that. Maybe I can, let me try it this way. Maybe I can actually mount them to the other panel. Let's see if that'll work. Yes. Perfect. Okay. And then we'll do that and that. So I think that should be enough. Like, it gives it a little bit of power. We don't use a ton of power on this ship anyway, but it'll give it some. I've got the, whatchamacallit, the solar cells working in the background, though I'm probably going to need more, maybe? I'm not sure. Oh, we do need bulletproof glass. And computers. I thought I had everything. Pooh. So, anyways, the other really epic news part is that, as far as I'm aware, barring any further complications, I do think that the renovation job that I've been working on in the background with my brother is finito. Or at least our part of it's finito. I think. I'm hoping. So that was the conversation the last time we talked about it. So I'm hoping that still stands, and that we are actually done with it, which means I don't have to think about it or focus on it or anything. So it's really cool that I can just focus on all my stuff after that. So it's cool. It probably doesn't mean a whole lot to you guys because it hasn't really affected the overall recording process and anything overall. On your end, for a viewer's standpoint, but for me, it's exciting. Okay, what do I need here? Let's get rid of this. I need computers. What else was I missing? Bulletproof glass. That should do it. Cool. So I wanted to go over some of the stuff that's been going on. Oh, I'll have to rename these two. Get them all set up. So I went to modify. I'd actually been working on a separate ice mining ship, and as you can see, there's my modified. I'm calling it the Turtle Icer now. But I had been working on like making a full one from scratch that was actually a vertical driller as opposed to this guy, which is like forward. And the miner used to be, and as you can see, I have modified it. And good lord, Pam's script is my favorite thing ever. It really is. Like, it's just the best script I've ever run across. It's so handy to just have little drones running around doing all the hard work. I have literally left my game running for like 2 days at various points with this guy running to come back to just piles of stone. And I'm doing the same thing with this. I've had it running for almost probably 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. And our hydrogen tanks are up to like 47%. That's why I don't know if we'll be leaving for space today or not, because I don't know how long it's going to take to get enough ice. I want the tanks full because, I mean, I want full tanks before I leave. I haven't come up with a space miner yet. That's the only other hurdle that we need to worry about. And again, I apologize for the awkward scene transition there that had no real rhyme or reason. But for some reason, when you put your phone on vibrate and then an alarm goes off, it just decides it's just gonna ignore the vibrate thing, and it's just gonna make noise. So that was fun. But anyway, where was I? I don't remember. I don't know where I'm gonna have to cut that out. So, I'm trying to figure out some kind of mining ship that we can take. It'll probably be smaller in nature, but because we've got a connector and things here, that merge block won't be there, so I can keep it, like, as long as the connector is flush with the bottom or side or something, it's fine. But I've got to kind of design it because all of these have atmospheric thrusters, and I need hydrogen thrusters for that to work. Hence why I also want the hydrogen tank to be kind of, tanks to be kind of full, is because, oh, I just realized I'm not done. What happened here? Oh, the medical components. Okay, I have to take the Turtle Rover's medical components because I can't make them yet. Medical components require silver that I do not have. Now, I don't know that I can't find silver. I'm just being lazy and don't feel like looking. And kind of, I only really need one spawn point, really, at the moment. So I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, so our shooting star is actually finished, and we're basically just fueling it. We're pretty much just filling it up. I had modified, or started making another miner for ice, and then I kind of realized, well, I modified this to be a welding ship until I realized that PAM doesn't function with welders, it's only grinders and drills. So I was having to weld everything by hand with the mining ship, which isn't a bad thing, except I kept having to come back and get more parts and then fly over there and try what. And I was like, you know what? I can just store a bunch of stuff on me and just weld a bunch all over. So it ended up being faster to do it by hand. So then I was like, well, what am I using this for? So then I modified it to be a vertical drill, but I didn't have enough batteries on it, and when I added more drills, then I didn't have enough thrust, so I had to add more vertical thrust. It's been kind of a mess. But I finally got it working. As long as I set it to like 60%, then the load is enough that these batteries can handle it, and it's been doing okay. I've had it running for like 4 hours or something like that. And I'm sure it'd be more efficient if it could handle more, like take a full load and then come back and not have to do like half loads or whatever. But it is what it is. Like right now, this is more functional than trying to have to redesign and build a whole nother one. But I do think, I like I said last time, I'm trying to make sure my episodes aren't fluffy. But I'm thinking that while we're going to have to wait on this a little bit longer, I might take an episode and work on designing a space drill to take with us, and then maybe start building that. So that's what I'm going to do. It wasn't the original plan, because I wasn't sure if this would have this done, and if I'd let it like run overnight or something, maybe, but I didn't want to risk it. So I'm going to go work on designing one. Then I'll probably show what I have. I'll show my work. And then, I mean, we are at home, after all. Most all of us are at home, so we've got to do our homework. Sorry, I've been trying not to make too many jokes about what's going on and everything, but sometimes I just can't help myself. So, anyways, So, yeah, I'm going to do that, and then we'll probably start building it. Though I did get a really good tip from one of the comments on one of my previous videos, which was to build a rotor and then add a small rotor head and then build off of that so that while you're building it, the ship can be like charging and stuff like that. And I was like, that's a great idea. So anyways, let me get to designing a non-atmospheric drill ship. And like I said, this one's going to be a little bit different. I don't know if I'm going to end up using Pam on it or not because it affects the design. Like, when you're designing with Pam involved, you've got to basically make sure that the profile of your ship is going to clear so that it can punch a hole through what it needs to do. So if you don't want that many drills because of the weight problems and all this kind of stuff, then it changes how you design ships. So I'm not sure. I've got an idea in mind, but I'm not sure how it's going to pan out. So let me go work on that a little bit, and then I will be right back. Okay, so it took me quite a bit of time, but I did actually manage to design what I am dubbing the Anteater. And I don't know how stable it's going to be, but it looks kind of like it'll be a little interesting. But essentially, the whole premise to this is, as you can kind of see, is we've got a multi-chain piston setup here with one drill instead of trying to make like a bunch of them and do more like the Pam mining, because in my opinion, I'll probably want to be way more careful with my fuel and hydrogen and stuff, so I'll probably only take this out when I find something specific that I want or need, and I probably won't just be letting it go bananas kind of thing. Now, I built this in space because it's designed for space, so it doesn't have to fly on the ground, and I'd actually be a little bit surprised if it flew on the ground. I did load it up, not when I made the blueprint, but just maxing out the stuff that it can carry, and it still flies pretty well. So again, you're not fighting gravity and stuff, so it'll just accelerate a little bit slower, but it's kind of one of those, even fully loaded in space, it should accelerate. So what the plan is here as to how this will work is, there's basically these pistons here, which, if I did my building correctly, should come right about to the edge of the drill. And so this is your normal starting point, and assume, you know, that right around this level is where the asteroid or whatever is going to be, and you're going to clamp it down with those. And then you can turn the drill on. It'll make a small hole where it's starting, and then you can kind of one at a time start chaining these out. And I'll just extend them all the way out here. And you would get about that far, which isn't crazy. You're kind of like, okay, this is a decent amount or whatever. But then the other fun part to this is, if you were to do that and you still wanted to go deeper, like you had to get further in to get to more resources, then you could retract the landing gears and let it kind of draw it in while the drill is still going like this, and you'd go that far in. So at that point, this is where the asteroid would be, and you're that far in. And then, of course, when you're done, you can tab over, pull all of these back. And I have them set up on the quick bar for individuals, so you can do them sequentially, because I'm really careful with drills and pistons and stuff like that. I'm not even sure I like that it's hanging out here the way that it is, but I couldn't really figure out a better way to do it. And so when you're doing that, then essentially you would have a mine shaft that then, say you hit a big pocket of ore, you could essentially pull the ship back, detach it, move over, you know, a ship length or a drill length or whatever, and then clamp it back down and start all over again and punch another hole through. So that's kind of the way that it works. I did kind of cover it all up here, but I tell you what, in the interest of being thorough, I'll just make a copy of it over here and take some of this stuff off. Let's go ahead and take this whole layer out. Let's see what that does. That didn't do nearly anything, because it didn't grab the right thing. That should be good enough for that. Let's grab this. We'll take that out and get rid of it. Wow, okay. There we go. There's still a few things that are difficult to see. Like, I've got a couple of batteries under here. And I don't know. I lost my gyroscopes. Where'd they go? Whoop! Shouldn't do that. There's the gyroscopes. Let me get rid of that so it doesn't float off. So this was a large container, as you can tell from kind of looking through the corner here. So we got a large container there that has... I left a port on this side because you have a connector here with a large access port, but I didn't really know what else to do with this. I didn't really need anything to be connected to it, so I just left it as an access hatch if you were, you know, flying around and wanted to get into the cargo bay. So that's where the large container would go. There's 2 gyroscopes, a beacon, an ore detector on the bottom, and I've got 2 thrusters reversing, 2 spotlights, and an antenna on the top. There is a oxygen and hydrogen generator so that we can keep the ship fueling itself were we to... This is primarily going to be used to mine ice in space, is kind of the idea. So I wanted to make sure it had a hydrogen tank on it for fuel, it had a generator on it to keep it going as it was mining ice, the batteries will keep the generator running, blah 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 blah, kind of thing. And then I have an oxygen tank back here that is connected to the rear thrusters. And yeah, and then I had vertical thrusters in there. So pretty much fairly bare bones. It's pretty simplistic, to be honest. But I think it will work. So I made a blueprint of that. Now I'm gonna probably get started on it, but I don't know how much progress we're going to actually end up making today. But I'm going to go ahead and start taking a crack at it, or at least get it set up, and I will see you guys in a moment. Okay, so we're back here on the survival world, and I have realized I might have a minor issue. So the issue is the ship that I just designed, the S.K.S. Anteater, can't probably fly on its own in a gravity environment. I haven't tested it to be sure, but I'm pretty darn sure. So my problem is I need to start somewhere where I can build it, but I really like to start it connected to the shooting star. Therein lies the problem. I'm not entirely sure how to do that, because we've only got a couple block spaces here. We've got a merge block holding the shooting star with a connector. Now ideally, because I built the Anteater with a connector and not a merge block, I would like to get the connector started, but whenever I've tried to do like a connector to connector switch, it doesn't work. Like, you have to have the ship already kind of connected in some way for 2 connectors to meet, unless they're already self-powered, which obviously this won't be. Now, there is another option, I think. I don't know if this would work or not. The other option is to figure out exactly what parts I would need and bring all of them with me, and then build it in space. But I don't really like that idea, because I would have to bring or build a projector and a rotor and some other stuff that would be more resource intensive, I would think. So yeah, oop, that was good. Don't mind me, I just build ships. I just build things that fly, don't worry about it. Well, most of them fly, a lot of them crash. But, so, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to go about doing that, to be honest. I could detach this, fly it out a little further, connect it with the merge block, and then connect the rotor? maybe that would work? I'm really not sure I'm really not sure how to do this. Like, theoretically, that should work, right? I could detach this, let it power itself, pull that way, like, bring it further out, build the merge block back out to it, reconnect it, but leave the connector disconnected, break that down, build a rotor there, put a small head on it, and then build out with a projector to it. I think that should work, so we're gonna try it. Luckily, I'm pretty sure I have 2 alternate saves for this, so if something goes terribly wrong, it's not too much of a problem. Now, why does this always happen? I had these set up. What were they? Now I don't know what they even are. They should at least keep the names of whatever's missing. I don't understand what these are. Merge blocks, maybe? Do I not have those set up anywhere? That's so annoying. It's gotta be the merge blocks, right? Because I have the battery there, and I must have renamed them or something, maybe? I don't even know. Maybe I had them controlling the doors? Maybe that was the airlock. I'm missing the connector, too. So let's grab... do you think I have enough connectors? Alright, let's grab you. That's probably the switch lock and the toggle. I always... And some people might find that weird. If you got the switch lock, why do you need to turn it off? I've had a few ships that didn't have quite enough oomph to break the magnetism on a connector, and so I found that I just turn them off sometimes, and it works pretty well. I don't know why I have these 3 set up. I think I set them up just in case I was using Pam, but I would never need to use that, I don't think. I'm still not really sure what this is, but we're gonna roll with it. So, first thing is, I don't actually think I want to turn off the merge block. Yeah, I do. So let's turn the thrusters on, the gyroscopes on. We've got the generators on. My little drone army. Move out. We'll turn the batteries to auto. What else am I missing? I don't need the refinery probably, so let's turn that off. I think that's gonna be it. So let's unlock this. We'll turn off the connector. Then we should just be able to do that and pull away. Cool. So let's go out. I don't even know. We're gonna have to let this sit for a minute. Unfortunately, I've never worked with hydrogen in a survival situation. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not entirely sure how long I can let that sit. I don't know how long 47% will keep me going. That should be more than enough, right? I think so. One issue is going to be the height here. Okay, we're going to need to pull this away a little bit. Actually, this is not a bad test, so that's like 1%. Just sitting here idling, keeping it floating. So that's good to know. Okay. Where my merge block be? There it is. So let's get you going. Alright, that should work. Theoretically. Okay. And let's turn the merge block back on, and now we should just be able to fly close to it, and it should snap to it. Come on. Right there. Cool. Okay, so now we don't really have to worry about the connector anymore. We'll set this to recharge again. We'll turn those off. Turn that off. I am going to keep... Ah, crap, I just realized I disconnected the connection source, so now I'm not filling up my hydrogen anymore. Poop. Alright, well that's gonna be... Didn't think this through very well. Because it only has one connector. So, if I start the anteater connected to said connector, I mean, I guess I could let the driller unload into the large container and then manually take ice to the anteater and go through its conveyor system. That could work. I think that's my best bet. So, with that in mind, don't need this anymore. Well, actually, I'm going to leave that there. Because until I move it or something, that's kind of going to be my impromptu connection port for the base. So, let's grab... Do I have rotors or anything? I'm just wasting hydrogen. Do I have rotors or anything? I don't think I do. So let's just grab you. We'll put it... Screw it. Let's just put it right under there. Now, I haven't really worked with these too much, so I don't really know what all they require. Let's just grab some stuff. I know they'll need rotors. I mean, rotors, motors, kind of makes sense. Construction components. What else am I missing? The large tubes. I think that'll do. I'll probably have a little bit of everything else on me. Let's go ahead and get rid of that part. Don't need it. And we'll access it through here. Go to rotor. Add a small one. And I don't even know if I needed to weld that up all the way or anything, but we're going to anyway, because why not? Actually, no, this I won't need to. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to have to build out a little bit, but for now, let's put a projector here, and we'll put a small battery here, because small batteries are pretty cheap and they work good. If you're having trouble, a lot of you are probably already more experienced at this than I am, but if you're having trouble with you know, grids and things for keeping power for a projector or something, those little small batteries work pretty good because they start with a little bit of juice and the projectors really don't take a lot. And it only requires a couple power cells rather than like 20 or 30 or whatever the regular ones do. So they're a nice little emergency battery type thing. But as far as ship power, I haven't found a situation where they really power much of anything for more than like 10 seconds. So not sure I'd recommend them for a ship. It's gonna be this one, I think. So we're going to grab the anteater. I put a screenshot on this dagnabbit. Anyway, multi-grids are not supported. Only the largest grid will be used. What? Multi-grids? I'm not doing a multi-grid. Oh, wait a minute. Is it not going to include my pistons and everything? What the heck, man? Oh, it's upside down. And it's not including the pistons, it doesn't look like. What? How is that a multi-grid? Whatever. I can figure it out from there. I just need the baseline. So, it needs to be flipped. Okay, so that's pulling it back. So let's leave it at like -1. Let's see. Perfect! Awesome. That's right where I need it. So, from here, I'm just going to have to build a scaffolding out to where something is buildable like this and start with that. So I'll probably end up doing the cargo container, then the connector, and then the batteries, and then I should be able to do everything else and then, you know, leave the projector relatively loose or move. Actually, I could just move this a bit. That's probably easier. There we go. And then now the merge block's the only things that's actually in the way. But again, I can do that last minute. So that's kind of the plan moving forward. Is this guy's still storing up ice? That one's still getting stone. I'm gonna have an overflow here in a little bit probably because it's not actually going into the ship now. But yeah, I'm gonna be building the anteater. Once the anteater's done, I am hoping that in the middle, in between of doing that, while this is mining for ice, that if I'm transplanting the ice into that generator out there in the shooting star, I'm hoping it'll be pretty full by the time we're done building this. So that's kind of my project for the next episode. And so hopefully next time we'll be heading into space with our little miner. So yeah, with that, I'm going to wrap things up here for today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.